All right, so we are here at the DynamicsMinds Conference in Portorož, Slovenia, and this is a podcast for you guys. I have here Vilmos Kintera, a Microsoft MVP, and a guy that works for a long time at JJ Food. Maybe you can say a few words about yourself.
Thank you, Riste, and hi everyone. I'm Vilmos Kintera. I've been doing AX for the last 21 years since version 2.0. I'm mainly a software engineer, so I really like to pull my sleeves up and dig deep into the coding part. And I'm also a solution architecture because of the long experience. So I'm very passionate about AX and F&O.
Yeah. So we all know Vilmos. He's quite famous in our community. We all learn from him, and it's good that we have you here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, my topic for today is really about customizations in Dynamics, especially Dynamics F&O, because there is some paradigm that, nowadays everyone wants to just go standard, or as much as standard as possible, or standard only, and do Power Apps or .NET apps or third-party apps outside of the solution. So, what are your thoughts about that? Do you think it's the right way to do ERP implementations, or maybe something else?
It really depends on the scope of the project. So back in the day, if we think about how X++ was, all the little elements of coding was just a Lego block. And you can put together some beautiful castles or whatever you can imagine with those Lego blocks to build very robust solutions. And this has been the advantage of having AX as an ERP system, that you could create pretty much everything as per your business needs. And we know that there was a big change with finance and operations, where Microsoft decided to seal down the code. That's what they call the hard seal. We can no longer change the core logic of the application, but we can build on top of it. Or you can create your own solutions on top of that. And that has confused a lot of partners and customers, like what is possible and what is not. I believe
and
we
what
have
is
been
the
in
right way? And what
same
is the right way?
situation.
Yeah.
And we feel like customization can be very beneficial if you have requirements that Microsoft does not cover. For example, I can tell you that JJ Foods is a food wholesale company that I'm working with for the last 8 years now. What they do is they deliver ingredients for restaurants, from corner chippy shop to Michelin star restaurants all across the United Kingdom. And for that we have to have a large logistics operation. But to be able to beat the competition, we wanted to have a really strong presence for e-commerce. And as we know, e-commerce back in the day was based on enterprise portal, yes?
Yeah.
And that was not the best solution. And then people were trying to explore Magento and other e-commerce portal. Can we integrate with that? Maybe let's build our own. And you could do that because the integration was excellent in Axapta. And we decided to go down our own e-commerce portal route. So now we're shipping out all the items, the open orders, the customers list, on-hand stock to the e-commerce portal via integrations. And we have a really fast website. And this is to stop customer churn. Because if the customer goes to your web page or your mobile app, wants to buy something from you, then if it takes longer than a minute to post a sales order, what happens?
They just go to the competition.
Customer is gone.
You lose them. Yeah,
so you want to have your code as fast as possible, have the order placed as soon as possible. And with this mentality, we have seen the larger, more robust ERP solutions, the competition, they were really struggling with this. And our e-commerce solution, which is fully customized, and the integration with F&O allows us to place the order in sub-seconds. So create the order, check out, pay, it's done.
Very good.
And we did that with customization.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise it won't be possible, right? If you use the standard ways of exchanging data, would be just like the case you mentioned. Yeah. Spend a lot of time on the website and go. But maybe it's fair to say or explain, as you said, in the past it was this layering concept at Microsoft, right? You have the application and then right? Partners can do changes, ISVs can do changes, and on top you have the latest code for certain customers. Now it's more like vertical, it's closed, and you don't even now develop on top of that, but on the side of that with some extensions, chain of command, which is kind of sealed. They try to mimic the other big players in the ERP market, even though the best or the selling point of Dynamics was that it's easy customizable.
Correct.
And it's still easy customizable, right? You can do stuff easier than in SAP or any other big enterprise ERP. Yeah. Again, if we go in the history, right? It used to be something like you have a lot of applications and then you need to interconnect them, not to key in the data twice or 3 times or many times. And then someone said, okay, invented this ERP. It was the SAP. Let's be fair. And now we go from this all-in-one model, right? Integrated ERP to kind of split into multiple applications and integrate them. And what do you think? Is it the right way? So we go to one solution and now we split the solution. Probably the next change will be go to one solution again.
Yeah, I got a strong opinion on that. So if you're a large customer who's using a lot of ISV solutions on top of standard, then in 2012, AX2012, it has been really a pain to make these ISV solutions play nice with each other, because if they touch the same table or the same functionality in business, then you don't have an ISV runtime license. Then they have to talk to each other to make their solution compatible with each other. And that was a change request, a long waiting time. They had to decide who is doing that part because they are breaking each other's functionality. So having like an overlayering kind of code change in 2012 could be very problematic if you've got a lot of customization or ISV solutions on the top. And with the new direction of F&O, they actually made this problem go away entirely, because with the extensibility not changing the core functionality, you're adding on top of it. And
side by side, basically.
They are side by side.
Communicating each other.
ISV's one solution is not going to knock out ISV2's solution. And I think this is an excellent way to address this problem. So even though some might think that this is a limiting factor, that Microsoft sealed the code, in my opinion, this is actually helping ISVs to cooperate better. You don't have to rely on them. They can release an update to their solution or a new feature more frequently. And this is what Microsoft is doing with their one version.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because then that's right. You have the ISVs in the past, they were kind of fighting each other, changing the same code. It was pain for everyone. But nowadays, that's easier with the sealed code, and I agree with that. The core of the system shouldn't be broken. But on the other side, you mentioned ISVs, and these ISVs are still within the Dynamics F&O application. It's not outside application that you integrate.
Yes.
So my point would be then, okay, it's still not so bad to develop even on your own within Dynamics F&O, because again, the whole benefit of having Dynamics was that you can easily customize and reflect your unique processes that makes you unique on the market and better than the competition. I have one example about that. For example, one of the clients of ours said, guys, we need to have a very good promotion module, because that's how we sell. And if we cannot do it in Dynamics, the competition will just kill us. Yeah. So the guy said, okay, we need this promotion module, and if we cannot do it in Dynamics standard, then we cannot sell to the clients. We won't be that attractive, and they will go to the competition. So we said, okay, we need to build this module. And now you have these options. You can build it outside of Dynamics as a Power App, .NET App, or any other technology, integrate with Dynamics, or you can build it within Dynamics. And in my personal opinion, it makes sense to build it within Dynamics. Of course, not trying to break the standard logic, even though it's now kind of sealed. Still, with these extensions and chain of command, you can break the system or on the next update.
Possible.
could not work and you still need to fix things. But if you do it on the site and integrate within the system, so if you have an application outside, you need to integrate outside of the system via OData or custom services or write files or whatever. But if it's within, it's even easier to integrate with this contract, or just use the classes on low level and still achieve the same and even faster and better within the same license, within the same application, even better for the user. Of course, it's need to have a good architecture, not to, again, change standard. But yeah, what do you think on this? You still think it can be done within the app, or you maybe prefer power-ups or anything outside?
This is an interesting question. So let me tell you a story. When first JJ Food Service came to the market, that was Axapta 3.0 times, I believe. And at the time, there was no solution
you guys
for
were
having
like 20 years with
I think it's
with
18 years
18
now.
years,
It's crazy.
Good. Which is
and
amazing.
there were
I
a
would
lot
say.
of feature missing. And one of these was the telesales call center module. And
which
that's
is now
something
standard, but
it's
back
came
in the
very
days,
late
yeah,
in the solution. And at the time, Ibex has developed the core solution, and then JJ Food Service took over the maintenance of that. That was overlaying a customization. And nowadays, the technology has changed so much that you're using your mobile phones. You want to place your order on a mobile application. So we no longer have that big telesales staff doing the calls, but that's still a nice feature. And over the years, we have expanded on that. So the customization came like, okay, how can we place the orders faster? And the solution was to involve machine learning, which is a very hot topic now.
Nowadays,
and what we did is we were taking a look at what kind of customer you are by doing machine learning, automatic customer classification. This was a change. Like, we knew that if you're buying sushi nori from us, you're most likely an Asian type of restaurant, and it's very likely that you will put rice in your order as well. So what we did is that if you call us up or log into the portal, we know that you're an Asian restaurant, we know how frequently you're ordering these goods, and we could now predict what the sales order is going to look like. And whenever the telesales agent has called the customer to place an order, we pre-populated 15 to 20 lines with the items. You didn't have to punch them one by one into the sales order, but you already had the sushi nori, the rice, the fish ingredients, and you just have to punch in the quantity to place the order. And this has like shortened the order placement time at least threefold or more.
Yeah.
And also our hit ratio for predicting what the customer might buy was over 70%. So we could do a really good prediction by smart customization of the application, what the customer will get from us. And this has reduced, like I mentioned, customer churn. We could win over customers from the competition because we were simply faster than them.
Yeah.
And this was a change in the application. We have kept it for F&O as well. So we have still our custom e-commerce portal, the mobile application for placing the orders, and we're using a combination of OData services to send out the item details, the customers' prices to the e-commerce portal. So the technology has been replaced underneath. It used to be application integration framework. Now it is OData and data entity based using Dataverse. So under the hood, the technology might change, but the business requirement of just placing an order fast has stayed the same. So you can choose your own way of customizing these. So we were exploring other options, like can we use logic apps maybe to send out the data? Can we use Dataverse? What would be the cost if we use Synapse SQL querying on that data? And then we go for the least expensive solution, which was OData querying.
Yeah, and it's good that you mentioned the logic apps, because one aspect could be the cost for the solution, but the other aspect is also the whole maintenance afterwards, because I think the Power Platform is really cool, really good. I using it, and we use to implement some scenarios at clients. It's really good technology. Of course, not for everything. I mean, if you do something for a mobile phone, for a tablet, it's really good. If you do some scenarios with users that are not on Dynamics, some people in the company, it's also fine, and you can integrate. But yeah, to build something that you can build it within Dynamics, I prefer to do it within Dynamics the right way, without breaking the standard or sealed code. But on the logic apps, what we noticed, because when we started with this Power Platform, we kind of integrated with different kind of applications, not just F&O. And then it's good, it's fast, you can build things fast, but then you need to keep looking on many places, for example, for the integrations. In the past, right, you will have something in Dynamics and okay, I have this form to monitor the integrations. Now, no, I need to see in Dynamics if this was executed. I need to go to the Power Platform portal to see the executions, and then to debug or deep dive and see why a logic app failed. It takes some time. So it's a good technology, but you need to make also a trade-off, as you mentioned. Otherwise, when you have just thousands of executions per day, it's not that easy to. Of course, you can use the dashboards, etc., but it's more places that these monitoring teams need to look at.
Yeah, like you said, there is a place for using the right tool for the right business requirement, and I can give an example. So when we register a new customer, new entry is added to our CAS table. Then we used to do a service bus push. That means we were subscribing to the change of the table, and then you can send the data to service bus, and then they will push it to the e-commerce portal's customer database. That's how we could treat both in the ERP system and on the e-commerce side, new customers, new items, prices, whatsoever. And for D365, this approach has changed because now you got more features available. So there is the business events. So you can have a business event for a new customer has been created. You can do a subscription for that from externally, like a web application that's scanning F&O, and you can pull the information. Or you can push. You can generate a data package, export it that there's a new customer, and then Logic Apps can feed that data package into your e-commerce portal. So it gives you more options nowadays than it used to be back in the day.
Correct.
Another example is we are using an external master planning tool, because master planning, we know how slow it was back in AX 2012. It could run for days.
Until this microservice.
Exactly. So Microsoft changed that one because we realized that it's a pain point for a lot of manufacturing companies. Correct. So master planning is now microservices. But we stuck with our external provider, a Finnish company, Relax, that's really good, doing a good job with stock replenishments and purchase requisitions. And what we do is we generate our inventory on hand, items, and the open orders, open purchase orders. We export that and put it on their SFTP server. Now with F&O, you can't make that direct connection to external parties like that. So we could now again decide, do we use data packages to export the entities, or do we go the Logic Apps route and that we do the copying to the SFTP server? So it gives you the option to go really flexible, but this is still a small customization on our end. And we're not afraid to make this step.
Yeah, of course. And again, it's good that you mentioned this about the MRP. It's not just you. I think many companies decided to use some external tool because of the of how it was done. Nowadays, I think it's really fast. It's possible to customize it. At the very first version, about a year or 2 years ago, it wasn't possible to customize it. But it's going into the good direction now. Now it's really good. Now it's interesting for the clients because they say, oh, it can run in minutes or even faster, so I can run it multiple times a day. Now they get new scenarios on how they can work. In the past, it was like, okay, I need a weekly MRP or nightly, and then I work during the day. Now they say, for some businesses that have a lot of transactions and a lot of things happening during the day, they say, okay, I can run this even multiple times a day. It's really beneficial. That's really good. On the integration part, just maybe mentioning on the old old versions, we used to build our own kind of dashboards that can follow the messages end to end, because as we said, even the service bus, it's fine, but
did
then
it go through? Did it fail? Where did it fail?
I need to go to Azure or here or there to see it, and then we built some nice dashboards where you can basically find the message by the if it's a pallet by the pallet ID, if it's a sales order by the sales order ID, and actually see where it stopped, and then it's much easier to because these things are never taught at the beginning of a project. Okay, we choose a technology, we see the sunny day scenario, it's super, but then when it starts, complexity is coming. When some things are failing, you have no clue why, and could be many things, from accounts on this middleware if it's Azure, or accounts even on Logic apps that happened. Sometimes it happens even with Microsoft that some services
There's
down, you have no
downtime,
clue.
yes.
So it should be even easier, not easy, but easier to maintain and to monitor.
This is why we try to stay close to F&O and be it like an onion. So there's the core, which is a standard code, the ISVs around that, and our customizations on the top. And then you have a single source of truth. And if you need to troubleshoot something, or if you need to look for performance issues, then you don't have to explore 3-4 steps like you mentioned if you had Logic apps or any other JSON data, or to expand what kind of error messages you get from external services. With a single source of truth, customizing F&O, you can troubleshoot it much faster and better, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have some third-party apps which are or technologies which are better than Dynamics for the purpose they serve, like the portal, like mobile apps. But then you keep the logic within Dynamics, single point of truth, and then just exchange. That's good kind of architecture in things. Good. And because now you go right, you need to go live very soon with with D365. I have a couple of questions there. One is you had customizations in the past, starting from AX 3.0 till 2012. So you're going to move them to the cloud or rework? What's the approach?
Yeah, first what we did is rely completely on the Microsoft tool. So you take your entire model store in 2012, export it, put it on Lifecycle Services, and you run the code upgrade tool on that. And that is the same experience as previous major upgrades between versions, which is a one-on-one technical conversion of code. Then we did that and turned out, okay, we have got a breaking change here because Microsoft sealed the code. Our customization would be in the middle of the standard code, which is no longer possible to change. So we got two options there: either open a ticket with Microsoft, submit an extension request that you want to change the standard code, or add the delegate there so you can run yours in the middle, but then you have to give a business reason for that. And Microsoft will judge the decision whether that makes sense. Others might want to use that or say no to you.
And that's exactly SAP like.
Yes.
But okay.
Then they give the option to use the chain of command, which means before or after the Microsoft code, you can trigger yours. You're not interfering with standard or other ISVs. Correct. And this is the benefit which I mentioned, that you're not stepping on somebody else's toes. Yeah. So for these, we mostly went without making a change request, but we worked around with chain of command to run our customizations. And then where we have seen that Microsoft did a better job. Let me give you an example. When you're sending out emails from AX 2012, you only have one option to set up a mail server. And if you are sending a lot of customer-facing documents, let's say a vendor payment confirmation, a sales order confirmation that you did indeed place an order, how long it will take for you to arrive, what's on the order, what is the total price. Those are customer and vendor-facing documents. You want to be able to track them, because then the vendor will complain, oh, you never sent me the purchase order, but you can see in your mail server that yes, in fact you did. So you need some traceability for that. And we had to change the standard of email sending. For customer facing, we use a Mandrill integration, and then for internal documents, just regular Outlook or Exchange server pretty much. And this was a customization for 2012. Different channels for customer facing or internal documents, because you don't want to pay for Mandrill for sending out internal email. Yes? And Microsoft has reworked this in F&O, so now they've got something called email providers. And these are interfaces, and you can create your own providers separately. One for Mandrill, one for Postmark, MailChimp, or internal emails. But there was no documentation for that. So we had to find out how to work it. In the end, we realized that this was a really good customization, and now we could rebuild our solution to use the Microsoft interfaces and the providers to send out these emails separately. So in this case, this was a rework of our code, but it didn't change fundamentally of what it should supposed to do, business function wise.
Yeah. And probably, the truth is somewhere in the middle, not just at JJ Food, but at any customer, especially with heavy customizations on older version. When you go to the cloud, normally everyone starts like that. Let's move the code, use standard Microsoft tools analyze. But also from functional perspective, as you mentioned with the with this module about telesales and telemarketing, call center, now it's standard, right? And if you see, we developed it, now it's standard, and the standard is better. Let's just rework our...
Microsoft will maintain that for you.
And
you
will
don't
maintain,
have to maintain your own code.
Because when they introduce something within the application, it's probably the best on the market or the leading solution on the market. They either build it or buy it and put it there. And then it's worth maybe changing your process a bit or adopting it, or maybe taking the standard and slightly change it to fit your needs, instead of, no, I want to keep my custom module. And for me, that's fine. If you have standard modules or standard features, we should use them. If there is not, we should somehow develop it.
You can come up with business processes, which is very hard to fit by changing setup and configurations of the system. It gives a lot of flexibility, but it might not cover your exact business needs. Maybe that gives you the edge of being better than the competition. And then you definitely want customizations for that. And I would say, don't be afraid to change the system, because that's how you can beat your competitors. So that was the decision for us that, okay, maybe for the call center module, let's revise our strategy, rely more on the e-commerce portal and ditch that, go standard with the remaining telesales. And for other parts, we were using standard features like the email providers in this case, and we also kept a lot of customizations, which is our specific business needs, and that F&O cannot do out of the box, or any other ISVs as well.
Yeah, and in the end, probably you don't even want to share this with the competition, right? You want to keep it for you, to keep that market position. Good. Thank you for this conversation, Vilmos. It was really nice talking about this, how you do things at JJ Food, and what is your opinion on customizations, because again, there is this paradigm to go with standard, which I don't like it. The standard first paradigm is good, and it should be that way. Standard first, then customize. But going just standard and create many satellites around will just make things worse, I think, more complex. If you have, as you described, one onion, and like an onion, and have the Microsoft ISVs, and then your code in one place, single point of truth, it's probably the best way of doing things.
That gives you the best value for your business, in
from
my
architectural
opinion.
point of view.
Easy maintainability, balanced solution, because it will respond faster than trying to call out to external applications, then you can't troubleshoot that. And
all right. So Vilmos, thank you for coming at this podcast. It's really good that you shared the JJ Food story, and how you go to the cloud, and how you manage to do things in the manner of this migration to the cloud and customizations of the system. Again, we have this cloud-only paradigm, which I don't really like it and agree with it. But on the other hand, the cloud first is something I do cheer for, and I think it's the right way.
Definitely.
Do cloud first, and as you explained with this onion, we have Microsoft, we have ISVs, we have our code, single point of tree, and then externalize everything that cannot be within the ERP, but going standard only, and then a lot of satellites around the ERP can just make things worse and not maintainable, right?
That is the correct approach indeed. So it gives you the edge that you can have a single source of truth. It is performant because you're not relying on external applications. You can troubleshoot it better if there's a problem with the connection, with the speed, the performance, an error message comes, then it is everything in one place, and it's just more easily maintainable if you need to do a version upgrade. Microsoft brings out a new feature, they acquire an ISV solutions, and maybe that's better what you already have. It gives you the flexibility to adopt your business in a really fast and responsive manner.
Very good, very good. Thanks once again.
I really appreciate for calling me here.
Thank you, and yeah, see each other on conferences like this, on DynamicsMinds next year, Digiton, maybe on meetups. Thanks for sharing your experience, and guys, yeah, stay with us for more videos like this, more podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.